Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. They're heinous crimes that shocked our community. 4 members of area gang the White Boy Posse are behind bars in connection with 2 homicides in our region and another in Saskatoon. 2 of those men are from right here in Lloydminster and another from Wainwright. As Newcap reports, some experts believe drug and gang activity in smaller towns and cities could be getting worse.
Alert has been engaged in investigation of the White Boy Posse for some time, and I can confirm that these homicides have linkages to that organized crime group in Alberta.
This investigation over the past few months has led to 4 arrests in 3 high-profile homicide cases. Accused are 22-year-olds Kyle Darren Halbauer and Randy James Wayne O'Hagan, both of Lloydminster. Nicholas John Nowitzki, 32, of Wainwright, and 29-year-old Joshua Petrin of Edmonton. All are members of the White Boy Posse, a gang that operates primarily in Alberta, Saskatchewan, and the Northwest Territories. The crime scene spanned 3 different towns and cities. The first homicide was in Saskatoon in September. Police say that was a case of mistaken identity. A 35-year-old mother was shot to death at her front door. Later that month, the body of 35-year-old Brian Gower was found on a rural road on the outskirts of Lloydminster. And in October, Border City resident Robert John Roth's dismembered body was found near Ranfurly. His head was discovered 5 days later in an Edmonton alley.
I'm not surprised to see where their scope of operations is at this point in time. What is surprising to me and to my teammates is to the level of violence which they've now escalated to, certainly in the recent years.
Those all sort of display an accelerating type of brutality. They're getting more brazen. If I was to do a profile on this, I would suggest that the drug use is probably becoming even more pronounced.
Criminologist Bill Pitt says Alberta has a huge drug and gang problem. Pitt says gang members are setting up in smaller towns and cities because they can operate without big city policing. He believes Lloydminster is the perfect place to set up.
The fact that you've got so much transient traffic, truck drivers, a product that's being moved east to west, north to south. If I was a gangster, I'd look at Lloyd, look at the map and say, I want to operate here.
Local police are not commenting on the crimes. They say it's not in their jurisdiction. Meanwhile, Edmonton police say these arrests are just the beginning. They say they have a lot of information to sift through and more charges could be laid against the 4 accused and possibly others. Reporting from Highway 16, Naramanisa, Newcap News.
For the local SPCA, donations from the community are the lifeline that keeps the nonprofit running year-round. And its annual fundraising dinner theater is no different. But this year's results were one for the record books.
They're preliminary numbers, but based on what we estimate the remainder of the expenses to be, it's a record-breaking year. It's going to be over $142,000.
This smashed last year's total of $130,000 raised. Organizers tell Newcap the money will cover 1/3 of the SPCA's operating budget.
That bills right down to accounting fees like any other business.
In addition to the sponsors that came on board, the SPCA had a lot of volunteers.
It's all done by volunteers. Every step of the way, it's all volunteers. And without them, we couldn't do it.
The SPCA's next fundraiser is the Jail and Bail event on December 13th. For more information on the SPCA or how to donate, you can visit that website right there on your screen. A place kids turn to for positive mentorship. Our local Big Brothers Big Sisters chapter believes in changing the course of young lives to create a better community. And the nonprofit had its annual general meeting today. It was all about ways to continue impacting our city for the better and looking back at yet another successful year. Elise Cox reports.
Big Brothers Big Sisters have had a great year, receiving the National Growth Award for the 3rd year in a row, increasing the number of kids they serve by 11% and coming out on the positive side of things financially.
This year we've had a solid financial year, of course ending up on the plus side of things, which does solidify going into the next year.
And they say it's all possible thanks to the support they receive from our community.
Our community is amazing. not only with financial support, but with their donations of items, donation of events for our kids.
And their Christmas season is already off to a great start with a donation from the Lloydminster Teachers Association. After the meeting, more than $1,500 worth of brand new books were donated to the nonprofit organization.
We all at the various schools have a lot of students that are involved in the program. A lot of teachers and their families are personally involved with the program. Myself, I am involved with the program, so it's really important to a lot of the members to support organizations that connect to our own lives and to our children's lives.
But even after the community's generosity, Big Brothers Big Sisters is always looking for more volunteers to provide a leadership role in a child's life.
Presently, we have 28 kids on the waiting list for a Big Brother or Big Sister. What we're looking for is somebody that has 2 or 3 hours every couple of weeks and would basically like to be a kid themselves.
Anyone looking to volunteer is asked to call the organization at 306-825-5757. Elise Cox, Newcap News.